Hey guys, doing a video on this vintage K&B catamaran. I got this from a guy who I did some work for, and he had it stored in a closet for probably 5 or 6 years with fuel still in it. So I got everything cleaned up, took the engine apart, soaked everything, got everything loosened up, got the fuel tank cleaned out. That took couple of gasoline flushes, and I had to stuff a small rag in it and mop the inside of the tank with a screwdriver. And I had it running a couple weeks ago, but what I did was I used the socket on here, and that's a big no-no. You never want to do that. So I needed a starter for this, but I didn't want to spend $50–$60 on a starter for these little engines. So here's what I came up with, and I think it's going to work. Now what you need, parts list, is get you some of these 1-inch 25mm rubber leg tips, like that. And then for hardware, you'll need a fender washer. This one here says 6YH, and it's 1 inch. If it's in there nice and snug, I'll try to pull it out and it won't come out, so I'm just going to leave it in there. And then you need a fender washer for the backside and a bolt to go through everything, but the bolt won't quite fit through, so I got to drill that out just a little bit. And when I drill this out, having that washer in there is going to make sure you stay perfectly centered when it comes out this side. So I think that's going to work, and it actually grips the engine pretty good. I was really surprised how well it grips. So this is going to be a DIY rubber cup drill adapter for starting outboards. Now, you guys are probably wondering why there's an ignition wire on here. That's exactly what it is. It's an ignition wire. Because you guys know how difficult and tedious it can be to start these little engines. Because you have to hold the boat, hold your starter, hold your glow plug, and these things here are a joke. This thing here does nothing but push it off. So that's useless, and that's useless. You will just push it on there like that. And let's see, this is a 1.8 amp, which is 1800 milliamps, 1.2 volts, rapid charge possible. So what I did is I found a suitable ignition wire out of an old CFL backlit display. And you can find wires like that, because what it is, it's the wire is silicone, the boot is silicone. This one actually came off this little CFL, because these have electrodes on the end that get really hot for this light. It's like, well, that's what you want. You want something that's going to withstand a lot of heat. So I made me a little ignition wire, and I had these pins But anyway, the one I used is this one. And this was actually a 2-piece pin, and I took it apart and trimmed it down and customized it so I could solder it on. So I could solder it on to the end here, and then I could just pull the boot over it, and then it plugs into the glow plug. And then right here, move it up a little bit. Let's see here. There we go. This right here is what they call a pogo pin magnetic connector. And that's exactly what it does. These little pins right here, you can see they're spring loaded. So this goes on there like that, instant connection. And the red one is the one going to the ignition or the glow plug, and the white one is just ground. I just soldered the wire underneath, brought it up through here, and grounded it on this little screw that actually holds this metal plate in place. So you can have hands-free glow plug. Who doesn't want that, right? And you can actually attach, I don't know, I'll probably just get like a D-cell battery holder, and that way, or get a rechargeable D-cell battery, and you can just lay it up here, and then when you drop this on there, the glow plug will come on. Because you know how it is when you're trying to start these, you gotta, if you're holding one of these on there, and you're trying to spin the flywheel, well, there's two hands there. And you might need to hold the boat. Maybe you want to give the carburetor a little spray of gas, or you might want to, hit the throttle to get it going. So, yeah, that's something you guys might want to try and do. And like I say, you can find these wires, these little silicone wires with a boot on them. And older TVs have them. If you have a TV, or know somebody has an old TV in their garage or something, if the TV is like 3 or 4 inches thick, it probably has CFL backlights. And you can find silicone wires with a silicone boot on the on the little light bulbs. You just pull the boot back and desolder it, and then make your connector to fit on there, and get you some of these pogo pin magnetic quick connectors. I think I paid like $10 for 3 of these. But yeah, hands-free glow plug. Alright, I'm going to pause this for a second so I can go drill this out and see what it's going to do. Well, there it is. 1-inch rubber leg tip. That should work for a starter. Let's find out real quick. Yeah, perfect. Well, now I'll be able to use this to start it. I'm going to do another video when I get this thing running to Okay, one of the other things I did with this is when I got this, the plexiglass here was silicone down and the batteries were dead, so I had to cut the silicone all out, and I ended up using this foam weather stripping when I put it back on, and it had a hole right here. I didn't know why there was a hole there, but I wanted to plug it somehow, and I ended up putting an LED in there because you can. And to do that, or what I did with that, is I actually I found this silicone. Then this is a cap for a RCA end, and then I had this LED. Now this is a 8-volt AC or DC replacement LED for vintage stereo equipment, because all that vintage equipment had incandescent lights and they always burned out. And this one here runs on 8 volts, and it has to have at least 4.7 volts for it to come on. And what's cool about that is when the voltage drops, because there's 4 AA's in there, so that's 6 volts. When that drops below 4.7 volts, the LED will start to dim, and that's an indicator that your batteries are getting low. And it fit perfectly. Well, actually, I had to take the silicone and turn it inside out, because it's got like a, yeah, got one of them. So now this fits in there all the way like that. And that's what I got in the front of the boat, or up here. Well, guys, since that's on, let's try this. All right. Very nice. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We're gonna get this thing fired up and maybe take it out on the water.